All right, here we go. Welcome to another stream here on Ashford MCP. I'm joined tonight by Simon. What's up, Simon?
Hey, doing good. What about
Uh,
you?
I'm good here. It looks like they're rolling for Prio. All two viewers who are in the chat, if you just let us know, Brady, if you can hear us, are we sounding good? Brady, don't get too excited for robots. You're about to get real disappointed in the horse shit that Ben is playing right now. We do have cool Lost Legion
Yeah,
stuff though.
yeah, I think saying Ben is running Sentinel is like
Yeah.
as generous as you can say he's doing it.
Yeah. This is it's like saying Elon Musk pays taxes. It's like, yeah, I'm sure when he buys a candy bar he might, but does he really pay taxes? So this is Ben's list. It's everything you'd want in a tier list plus two sad, lonely robots. Um Simon, did you happen to catch who won Prio here?
Yeah, it
Looks like
looks like
Erik.
Erik got prio on the tiebreaker.
Good.
Uh,
we are all very much team Erik tonight.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I think I'll say something for the Sentinels. Like, Sentinel Prime is actually a pretty good model. So, like,
Oh, I agree. I have
mm,
mine is painted up. I
mm,
played him unironically a few times. Actually pitched collar really hard on him in the Hydra at one point.
yeah,
I think Sentinel Prime is a legit model.
yeah, absolutely. He's a pretty solid five threat.
Matthew, Matthew says, "Never have we seen so many robots." Yeah, all two of them. Uh, there might have been more robots in like Avengers list that used to play Vision or something like that. Ben is, we're all Team Erik tonight for sure. It's like watching a convo match. It's a good shout out. Spoilers for my podcast with Schmid we're doing on Sunday, but he sent me his convocation list, and it is
Very
noticeably
few
lacking a
wizards.
lot of wizards. Yeah. Oh, my Jeff
Shame.
Jeff was mad at my Wakanda list from ACO that only had four Wakandans in it, but even if I played had a Killmonger, I still would have never played him. All right, so we're still trying to decide on crises here. I think they're running
It looks
fairly similar things, are they not?
I think so. We have on Eric's side, at least on the extracts, Montesi and Human Weapons and Legacy, with Mutant, Madman, Mcron, and Shi'ar Empress. On Ben's side, we have Hammers, Scroll, and Montesi, so kind of similar. And on Secures, they only have one difference, being Shi'ar Empress and Deadly Meteors,
Hmm.
both running Mcron and Mutant Madman.
So what I will say is that Ben usually does well with off-meta stuff, but he is just trying to sprint to a cheesy badge with Sentinels. And I think that's going to hold him back on the way. Whereas when he plays Winter Guard, he puts a lot of time and energy and thought into what he's running, and his lists make a lot of sense, and they're like fairly competitive and hard to deal with. Erik here is running also a lot of strong models. I wonder what the Nova synergy here is with Mephisto. What do you think? I know Brady's in the
I
chat.
think
Brady is also a Lost Legion lover. Is there something I'm missing about the Nova synergy with Mephisto, or is it he's just kind of like generically good?
I think he's generically good. He does use the extra power pretty well, and I think because the extra power lets him do more beams, especially, and his spenders like can get pretty scary. I also really like the call for backup tactics cards, um, which gives you really good scenario play by slowing enemy extract holders or pushing enemies off a point. Especially since he's running all pay to flips, I like being able to like pay three and just clear every single model from a secure to make a flip easy.
Yeah,
Like I think it has very nice interactions with his list.
I've played in Nova a few times and I found it to be a pretty solid model. He's not he's not a model that has like one job that he does super well. So we've got Mutant Madmen and Human Weapons. So we're gonna play 18 threat here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much Ben likes that. He's got 9 threat he's got to bring plus Taskmaster. So we know at least what 12 of his threat is. So then to get to
So
18,
yeah, it's basically going to be Hulk, right? Or
oh, it could be
a combination
Toad
of
and
like
Shang-Chi.
yeah, or you could do Zemo Black Hat. Um,
That's true. We're on Madmen, so
on
maybe he wants the long movers.
Yeah, that's kind of what I would expect. So like play Prime, Mark IV, Taskmaster, Black Hat Zemo,
Yeah. What are we pinging here?
because they're deploying the
Oh,
scenarios. On Eric's side, I would honestly assume something kind of similar. I think we're going to see Mephisto for sure. Black Hat's a very likely candidate. I think Bill as well. Probably Zemo, so that's already 15 threats. So an additional three, or you upgrade um, one of the threes to like Nick Fury. He could also bring Jane as well. I think he definitely has a lot of options here.
I legitimately like Lost Legion. It's by no means like a top tier affiliation, but if someone were to win an event or do really well with it, I would not be surprised at all. I've played a few players playing Lost Legion that were doing some cool scenario things, just like the extra power at the top of a round, round
Yeah,
two, letting them accelerate things was pretty cool. Black Cat is really, really good in there because you can get the steel top of round two and then, advance away long, or just having her the second power allows her to then top of round two stagger after she dove something. So I really like, I mean, obviously Black Cat is generically good, but I really like the extra power unlocking her top of two in Lost Legion.
I agree, and I think it gives her interesting options. And I think, as opposed, like one of the things that I like about Lost Legion is that Mephisto is a pretty hard character to play well. Like he's a complex model. There's a lot of text on his card, and he has a very like diverse set of abilities. So being able to leverage him best you can, I think, is a big part of playing Legion of the Lost well. And I think the models you bring and how they interact with Mephisto is something that makes it definitely more unique than things like the former Hellfire Club was.
Ah, I miss my old Hellfire Club. It was so bad for the game, but so good for me, you know? And sometimes that's all that matters. Oh, we got Isaac in the chat. Isaac, we got to get one of your games on here, buddy. The world needs more spider foes.
Yeah, and I think the Spider Foes are really cool in the current state of the game, so they're definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I lost to Dustin Giannapour was playing them into me a few weeks ago. I saw Vince playing them on forgot whose channel that was, Nobility's channel. They're pretty cool right now. It seems like Goblin's like the more popular pick at the moment, which is cool.
Yeah, I think with narrower shapes, he shines a lot more than he used to.
Jin asks, "Where's the robots?" Alyssa, where's the
Not in
robots?
Ben's list.
Where are the robots? We were promised robots.
Erik only has one fewer robot than Ben because he's already running Bill. So
Oh, that's true. Um, I
would
know.
we call him a Sentinel player?
Fair enough. If robots are on vacay. Uh, they should be getting buffed next year, right? That's their. Are they getting repackaged? Whether they talked about that on what stream? What was that?
One of the many
Q1
interviews they
robots
did.
on. Yeah, yeah. I can't follow all the different streams and channels and Discord messages and stuff, but yeah, Brady says quarter one the robots rise. Yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait to try that Nimrod out. I only own Sentinel Prime and I haven't painted, but I want to get my hands on the other Sentinels. And after was that Adepticon when they announced how they were going to be doing the repackaging and stuff, I wanted to go buy the Sentinels in anticipation of an update. But my store did not have them, so I'll have to get them another time. PSA, Mike is lame. Thanks, Ben.
I mean, if he wasn't playing so few Sentinels, I might be tempted to agree with him. But because of his very lame list, I think he's the one in the stinker now.
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like I sold the people a false bill of goods here by saying we were streaming Sentinels.
And it's not actually on you. It's definitely Ben's fault here for leading us astray with promises of cool robots.
So if he was playing a real Sentinels list, like a real Sentinel player, what do you like? you'd have Prime, two fours, so that takes you to 13. So you could still play, 5 wide at 18 with your super
Um,
super short movers.
you want to know my what I would do at 18 here?
hmm
Sentinel Prime, two Mark IVs, and low key two.
I don't I don't like playing 4 wide very much anymore unless I'm playing. Oh, here we go. Let's count the robots, people.
Shang-Chi Toad
Oh, we do have
instead.
two robots at least. Look at
Yeah.
that. Recal online. Oh, so we do at least have one Sentinel card. Choose an allied injured Sentinel, remove all damage, all conditions, and flip its stat card to healthy. I hope that pops up this game.
Yeah, so do I. And what does Erik bring?
The one thing I'll say in
Uh,
defense of Ben is that AMG doesn't want you playing Sentinels either when they release that trash fire the way it is. A Lockjaw.
uh, nice. Lockjaw, Jane, Zemo, and Toad. Interesting squad
Yeah, I'm
from
surprised to see the
Erik.
Lockjaw here. I wonder if he's got like a round one plan for Lockjaw, or if it's just I want to move my Mephisto later.
I think Jane is probably a very tempting target to move forward.
Oh, that's true.
I
Yeah,
think Lockjaw is also probably the most interesting sacrifice target for Mephisto and Meet My Associate to just sack an attack into him.
yeah.
Uh, just because like it makes like it has the advantage of keeping Lockjaw within two of an allied character when he starts his activation. So like you make sure your Lockjaw gets the extra power every round for who's a good boy.
Mighty Thor going down in the center for Erik. Shang-Chi going on the north side for Ben. I wonder who's going to grab extracts for Erik, though. You don't really want to put one on Mephisto, right? At least not round one. So maybe Zemo and Toad?
I
Or,
think you're kind of fine doing it with Mephisto, especially since he can sack into a model if he's not grabbing one like first activation, probably
mhm.
second or third activation.
He also could be
Um,
using Lockjaw to potentially. You could sack a hit in a Lockjaw, and then when Lockjaw goes, he could teleport other things back towards safety. I mean, that's a possibility.
yeah, that was gonna be my guess. Like you can leverage Lockjaw and the extra power to teleport to models.
We've got Sentinel Prime Mark IV going down on the south side. It's a shame these guys can't destroy terrain, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. I think that's probably one of the big flavor myths from Sentinels, where they're just like don't actually interact with buildings as they do in the comics and TV shows.
Yeah, I was just thinking like Night of the Sentinels, them smashing up the mall in the original '90s cartoon. We've
Yeah,
got
very good.
Mephisto going
They're
down on
just
the north
breaking the
side.
building. Yeah. Next to Jane.
Why are Eric's models all stick models? You know, he seems to have made an interesting choice for a stream.
Toad is not for some reason.
I first maybe okay, so Zemo's the one that definitely doesn't make sense. The other ones I thought maybe the model wasn't in the game yet, but Carl is insanely on top of that stuff. So, and I've definitely played with Jane, so that's not it. I know there's a setting you can change, like to go to the stick models.
Yeah. For those interested at home, it would be the button right in the middle of the affiliation next to the color. There's model type 3D and 2D, which you can select and change at will.
But don't do it when you're getting your game streamed. I'm not.
At least that's going to
Lockjaw.
make it very clear whose Zemo is whose.
That's
Oh
true.
no, wait. Ben doesn't have Zemo, so
Lockjaw is very
and
obviously Lockjaw. That's a good
he's a good boy.
that's a good drawing from Zach. Taskmaster going down the north side for Ben. Both players very clearly telegraphing sort of where they're going here. Not a lot of round one pressure that Ben can muster here, so Erik should feel pretty good about having Toad pick something up and not have to worry about getting hit. With the short move, large base, Simon, does Sentinel Prime hit something that he hits something on the midline, right? But not does he hit Toad?
That's a good question. I wouldn't think so. Just because large base short move is pretty comparable to medium move medium base. Medium move short base. So it's
Mhm.
like not quite there.
I mean, Toad will also be able to hang behind this size 4 where it might be difficult for him to draw a line of sight anyway. Erik really torn on this Toad placement. All right,
I think he's
that's it. That's where
clearly
he's going.
planning to overload a side with all of Toad, Mephisto, Lockjaw, and Jane, with a solo Zemo on the south side.
And the standard Ben renamed his Sentinel GIF. Wonderful. Alyssa points out the only model that's not a stick figure for Erik is the only model that he and Ben share in common, so that's cool.
Yep. Well, good luck to both players.
A little bit more luck to the Lost Legion player, though, right?
Yes, obviously.
All right, so Erik's going to start here with Prio. We assume he's going to pick something up with Toad, right? Let's see.
Yeah, I presume so as well.
Where
Like
is
you
that
can.
other token?
There's one right behind the convenience store. So, like, as you can see on the northern side,
Hmm.
one of the token is hanging on the convenience store. The second one is right behind it.
All right, Toad moving here. Could even try to get himself within 2 of Inhuman Weapon, but
Yeah, I think he's gonna have to be a little further than he'd like, just to make sure he's on terrain and not overhanging. But still, it grants him cover and puts him in relative safety.
yeah, I mean, there's nothing here that's going to be able to threaten him round 1 anyway. At worst,
Uh,
maybe a Shang-Chi
shield
flying
throw,
kick?
shield throw from Taskmaster probably
Oh,
also
okay.
ignores cover, but it's still a 4-day attack, so we know it's only good when it comes from grunts.
True. I just got my second, I just ordered my second Shadowland Daredevil.
Yeah, you told me you had a very cool painting project with him, which
I
I will,
don't. Dan's going to do that for me. All right, now the other Ben's Toad's going to go here.
and I presume do something similar.
Mm-hmm. Shadow Marvel points out in the chat that splitting up the 2 Sentinels basically makes online operational potentially a dead card. I mean, he didn't use any of those words. I'm being hyperbolic, but yeah, that's true. That's something to look out for. Is that I wonder if Ben was
Mm,
considering online operational with his placement here. I don't know how many Sentinel games he has under his belt because he was playing a lot of Winter Guard recently.
Yeah, it's a very good observation.
Alyssa, is Ben top 5 with Sentinels yet? How many Sentinels games does he have under his belt?
Uh, with the amount of robots he's running, I would consider 0.
Or maybe he's played some games and that's why he has more robots. All right, so Lockjaw looks like he's gonna go get some power here and teleport some models up to get some pressure. Alyssa
Yes, I
says
would.
this is game 10.
Right. I would presume he's looking at Jane and or Mephisto to teleport forward. Jane, I think, is a definitely more likely candidate.
Yeah, notable that Jane won't be able to throw any Sentinels around, so that'll be sad, but she will be able to throw this terrain at them, and they do not like terrain throws given their 3 physical defense. So Jane getting moved up here by Lockjaw.
Yeah,
Or he may decide to use his second action to walk and flip that trap.
and flip the points. Yeah, that's probably what I would do.
Could
And
be a little tight on the movement.
not with the
No, no, it
medium
looks good.
base.
Yeah.
I think you're going to be fine. It also leaves him on 1 power for going into the next round, which means he's going to be able to teleport 2 models from the get-go as well,
I
and have power left over.
like that Erik chose to bend his ruler and walk around the den as opposed to walking over it. Something a dog would do. Alyssa says he's 6-3 right now. Brady says, I think Ben underestimates how hard it is to win as Sentinels and get that badge. Sure, you do have to win some of the games. All right, Taskmaster walking up, taking a shot in a toad.
Yeah. I think that's fair. Like, ignoring cover here and getting a ricochet into another model is kind of free. So you take
Notable
a...
that Lockjaw did not flip that point.
Ooh, you are correct. Pretty
Good
strong
hit from
hit.
Task.
If he converts, it actually just stays his toad. And
Oh,
fails.
MCP special alive on one.
Was it rolling an extra die? Oh, looks like it was on Jane? Question mark?
Because the within 2 of a Zemo, which he's not. I don't know.
Maybe it was on Jane. I don't know. It was on Toad. Huh.
Toad
I
choosing the
presume.
slippery. Yep.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's going to be just shy potentially of getting to that back building.
Yeah.
I don't think you
But it
really
looks
need
like
to
Eric
do that anyway.
failed. Yeah, on a pay to flip, I don't think it's needed because Shang-Chi doesn't get there. Prime certainly doesn't. So
All right, and Taskmaster goes to flip the point. Good thing they gave that guy a gainer, huh?
yep,
I
it
think
does
he's
make it a
I think he's a fairly solid model, especially in crims.
nice first
Get fucked,
uncontested
Ben.
flip of the day. That's what you get.
And
Poor
that's
fake
task
playing
done.
robot.
So we've got inhuman weapons scooped up so far by both players' toads. Two remain. Ben says, "Prepare the chairs." Alyssa, you heard the man. Yeah, Ben flipped. I can't oversell how many chairs Ben flipped during our top 4 game at ACO. There was a point where
Um,
every chair I
my guess,
saw was flipped.
my guess would be more than 10, right?
It was at least 6 or 7 after one activation. So Erik considering moving his Zemo here. If he picks this up with Zemo, notable he won't be picking up his back trap, which is really
You
good for
can
Ben.
use I am a Baron for the extra power.
True.
And because of your leadership, it still lets you go with 2 power next round
No,
because
he's choosing to activate Jane. So it
yeah, I
looks like
like it.
he's gonna walk and attack into Taskmaster potentially. Although
Yeah,
there,
I
there
think I
is
like that.
a weapon on that side.
Yeah, there's the second weapon on the other side where his tool is hanging.
Yeah.
I like that just because it puts him at 2 extracts on his strong side, and if he takes the VP lead here, it forces Ben to collapse on the side where he's weak, or where he has like he needs more models. And I think here Jane can actually she can't charge, but she can go and slap Taskmaster and probably put him off the point.
All right. So it looks like Jane's gonna walk and pick up and throw a little attack into Taskmaster. I might have to go with the overhead view today.
And definitely not within range 2. She gets to punch him, hopefully very hard.
All right, 6-3.
Forward a crit is what I'd like to see, even though there's 2 blocks on Ben's side. Casual 5 with the throw. We'd like to see it. Getting 3 damage through Taskmaster.
He might be able to even. Well, actually, the throw is short, so you could dig him in the building
Uh,
for another damage.
yeah, and you actually get out of the photographic reflexes range.
Yeah, I don't know how concerned you are about that. You might want to be
I
within
don't think
range after the throw to throw the terrain at him, maybe force an early brace.
that's true. And chip him. I think that's what he's looking at.
Yeah.
I think he would have to throw it into the dumpster that's right above him.
Yeah, it'll be tight. Let's see what he opts to do.
Um,
All right, we are throwing.
yeah,
And he's going to choose
for
to do a single
chip
damage hit.
damage. I don't think it's going to leave him within the medium range for the throw, but it's free damage.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're fine here getting parity round one, and then round two you've got
Yeah,
priority, so Jane can always hit him and drop an extract, or just get the easy days with someone else next round.
yeah.
Or even he still has a Mephisto. Mephisto could always ask him some questions.
Yeah.
All right,
I
that's
think
to be Jane's
Mephisto
activation here. So we're going to see now the Sentinel Mark IV Jeff or Hefe is going to move up. I don't know.
and I think the terrain blocks him
Yeah,
there.
notable that's the Mark IV, not the Prime. Our extract holders right now are Jane and Toad for Erik, and Ben's got one on his Toad. Ben opting to not pick up the inhuman weapon that's on his side at the moment. I wonder if that'll promote Erik to get a little bit more greedy. I think it'd be kind of worth it to try to steal the trap at that point. Especially because he has Prio. Ben opting to use his second action with a Sentinel Mark IV Hefe to just go flip a point and be a big
Yeah.
scary robot.
Yeah, I think it gives Mephisto some spicy opportunities though to just move on the trap, try to flip it, use one of his gainers into the Sentinel, then the place attack uh,
He
to go
does
up
flip the
to
trap.
right.
Yeah,
And I can't win them all.
if you haven't played a ton of into Mephisto, it could easily get caught by him round one, round two, and just like how good his range is and his options that he has available to him.
Yeah.
Oh, Erik, you can see Erik's looking. He's scheming to try to steal something here. Do it, Erik. I've considered this before, playing like popping Baron to get a trap and extract. I don't know. It just feels so good to have it online for later. But if you're not planning on chasing down Toad next round, then flipping Baron just to try to score two VPs is not a bad idea at all. Because you have no
Even
threat of Sentinel Prime double moving and taking your trap.
even if he's looking at chasing Toad, like his leadership giving him a power at the end of the round,
Oh, it's gonna
still
call
lets him
out.
charge next round. So like I think like it depends on how afraid you are of a Sentinel Prime attack. But besides that, especially because you have Prio, it's going to be tempting to try to flip both.
I think I do. I feel like you're in a good position right now that you could maybe put your foot on Ben's throat a little bit here.
Yeah, I agree. I like the opportunity to just like take one 5-die attack and have Prio next round for some cheese.
Oh, he's thinking about it. Flip the card, baby. Get aggressive.
I think you can even just wait to see how your trap rolls go, right? Because if
Yeah.
you fail it, you might as well not pop it and just try to roll for it.
All right. Zima rolling on the point.
Yep, easily.
Shabam. With Zemo being. Oh, go on, pop it. Pop it, Erik.
Yeah. Come on, let's do it. Let's go for the greed. It looks like he's doing it.
Yeah. Love to see it.
Yeah,
I'm a big
and
fan of
because
plays like this because I think there's times in this game where just being a little extra aggressive and a little greedy can just put you in a really good spot and
yeah,
force your opponent to make plays they wouldn't normally make. Because now Ben might be feeling a little pressure to like flip his back trap. He gets a shot in his emo, who can kind of rotate away.
And
Next
then
round.
because he has 3 extracts, he's in a very commanding position.
Yep.
Like you could even probably spend her Toad, then just get the medium move, and
100%.
then walk away.
All right, Ben choosing to respond with his Sentinel Prime. He's going to flip a trap, and it looks like he's in range to take a shot in his Zemo.
Zemo, yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think, as I was calling earlier, a Toad would have been too far away for him to get shot.
Yeah. He's going to juice it. So this will be 6-die energy?
I think that's kind of risky because here, if you flub, you don't even flip your home trap, which
No,
can
no
be a
risk it,
great
no
thing,
biscuit, baby.
even if it's unlikely. 4 is a
Good
good
hit.
hit. 1 block, Zemo reroll, obviously, hopefully knocking that head down to 2. Love to see it.
So Ben will still generate 2 power. Is there a condition attached to this?
No. The conditions only come from the Sentinels spenders.
All right, well, he still generates 2 power, so he'll be able to flip his trap.
Yeah.
Let's see if he gets it.
Dang it. He got it. Now, I think if you're Erik here, I would probably play Mephisto a little conservatively just because you already have 3 extracts. So, like, you just flip your point, you single tap a Sentinel just to gain extra power, and chill.
Do the Sentinels have any special? It's just against mystic attacks, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's correct. They get to counter wilds for double when rolling against mystic attacks, which can make Mephisto's life kind of obnoxious because his attacks that generate devil deals token is mystic, so it makes Sentinels kind of awkward there, but not enough to like say something real about it.
He's looking to see if he can take a shot, which he can. See if he flips the point first. I also wonder if he notices that he'd never flipped that point, just because he would have assumed. Nope.
Looks like he's flipping it.
Yeah, there we go.
Come on, get it.
He only rolls 3 dice, right?
Yep.
Yep. And he
Gets it.
super got it. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so right
And I
now
think you.
Eric's scoring 5 round 1. He's got to feel pretty good about that.
Yep. And I think you just get your free punch shot at the Sentinel, attack them for 6 die, and generate extra power.
So this will be 6 dice energy going into Sentinel's 4 dice.
Yeah. Looks like it's what we're seeing. Just the 1 to get the incinerate. Ben blocks it. It's still a gainer, so you take your free hits.
Yeah, and that also limits Ben's options going into the next round as to who he can incinerate on his own team.
Yes,
So
that's very true.
he'll have an interesting decision here because you probably don't want to incinerate Taskmaster or Toad as their extra track carriers. Well, actually, no,
Just like
Taskmaster's not.
your prime.
Hmm.
So it's not
We'll see.
like Taskmaster is a reasonable model, but it's not like too crazy either, just because he's still kind of low.
Shang-Chi moving up here. He doesn't seem to have any. He does have a target. Okay, he can hit Jane.
And then just stun Mephisto with 1-inch punch, which
He
I
won't
think.
be able to do that this round. Isn't it
Oh,
only
you're
a?
right.
It's only
Okay,
after
yeah,
a punch.
it's only after the punch.
Yep. Shang-Chi's a scary one to bring into Mephisto. The 4 dice the 6 dice energy from range 4 is really scary for him. So you definitely want to get him up in the fight right now, even if he's not doing a ton.
The Mephisto space attack is range 3 though. Only the beam is range 4.
Oh, you're right. Good hit coming in from Ben. He's gonna push 1 through on Jane. don't think he'll be able to place to try to flip. Not that it would matter anyway. He would need 4 successes, which seems unlikely and unnecessary.
I think you take all the shots you can get, but I think he's still kind of body blocked by Mephisto, and Jane is probably too far away.
All right, let's see what Shung places. Yes, Jin, he could do it.
I think he's looking at what's the range 2 to not take a free damage from the trap, which is a good scenario play from Ben.
Yeah, Ben has some options here too going in the next round where, regardless of how Erik opens up, Ben has plays he can make to try to score some VPs. If Erik
Yeah.
chooses to, rotate Zemo, then Ben can go with Shang-Chi, who can apply some pressure here and push some people around. Or if Erik tries to go into Shang-Chi, well, then you go with Sentinel Prime, yank in Zemo, and you lay into him a little bit.
Yeah. Now, if you're Erik, at the end of the round, who do you give power to? Looks like he opted to. Okay, so 5-3. Looks like Ben is going to put the Incinerate on one of his models and give them a power. And if you're Erik, who do you give power to? Looking at your models,
Um,
I think Shang and Jane, right? Because Zemo took some damage. He's already kind of powered up.
uh,
Watcher doesn't need it. Toad doesn't need it.
looks like Ben opted to put the Incinerate on his Toad. And then Erik gives it to Jane. And who's the other one?
So far just Jane.
He tapped twice.
Toad, maybe? No,
Yes,
that was
he did
bad.
give it to Toad.
Jane and Mephisto, yeah.
Oh, it was Mephisto. Yeah, Mephisto makes a lot of sense. Now he'll start with 5 power this round.
Which is enough for a beam. And I think you can have one pretty, like, spicy juiced up. If you do How Can I Be of Service into Shang-Chi, then line it up to get both the Mark IV and Taskmaster.
Does that cost power though to do that?
Oh, yeah, you're right. He would be
Yeah.
one power short.
Simon. All right, so Erik's got priority here. Just to recap, we have Jane, Zemo, and Toad holding extracts for Erik. We have Ben holding one on his Toad. Currently, Toad and Sentinel Mark IV Hefe are incinerated for Ben. We've got Ben's Taskmaster, Sentinel, and Shang-Chi hanging out on the north side. Ben's Prime and Toad on the south side. Opposite of Ben's Toad and Prime are Erik's Zemo, followed by on the north side. Ben asks, does the mod do the extra power? No, you have to do it yourself. On Erik's side, on the north side, you've got Lockjaw, Toad, Mephisto, and Jane. It might be hard to see Jane here. She is just hanging out above that building. I mean, we're rooting hard, Jeff, for that to not happen. Like, ooh, this makes it worse. Too big. Jane is there. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, I think Jane is probably the juicy activation here. Either lay into the Sentinel or Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I don't think you want to kill Taskmaster just yet. Like, why give away priority when he's not holding an extract?
Yep, that's true. I think there's also an argument to start with Zemo, but I think by having already the VP and extract advantage up top, I would probably opt to try to take away activations from the stronger side. Just because having last activation on pay to flips is really efficient, especially if you're trying to collapse a side. Just because it takes away options from Ben.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got the majority of the extracts, I think continuing to hold that advantage is pretty sweet.
And it also kind of puts Ben in a harder spot to choose like when to daze Zemo. Because then if he just dazes him before he goes, he actually just gives priority back to Erik.
That's true. I mean, Jane laying into Shang-Chi would not be a bad idea.
Yeah, that's
Task no
probably
longer
what I'd
within
be.
three, which I think is good. I think actually that's one of those situations where I think Erik, you don't want to go into Taskmaster just yet, so him being outside of three is probably a good thing. All right, looks like he is tabbing that. Oh, he's considering a spender here, just because it's guaranteed to get Taskmaster.
Yeah, I think that's kind of juicy.
Yeah, I mean, the Sentinel is down a defense die because of the Incinerate.
But
She's on
spendering into the
eight.
Sentinel would also mean she takes 2 damage from her own trigger.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
There's an argument to like charge on Spender, but you charge a little backwards.
Yes, Dan, I think you need the Wild for the explosion.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Notable that Erik doesn't really have to rush to throw any terrain because there's no terrain throws on Ben's side. But he's got 8 power, so he can kind of do whatever he wants right now. He's locked in. He's got his thinking cap on. Yes. Yes, Dan. When I said guaranteed, I meant probably, or potentially, or not at all. They're synonyms.
Look, or seeing Jane throw something, upping 3 power, throw or charge something. Looks like she is looking to charge.
Oh. Just gonna deep
Yeah,
dive
just
into Ben's lines.
I think he's mostly looking to be outside of range 2 for the spender.
Hmm.
It also gives him 2 rerolls, so like it really increases the likelihood of him getting the wild trigger for the days on Taskmaster.
Yeah, I always forget about that, but I so rarely have 8 power on my Jane. Alright, I like it. We're going to move to outside of range 2 and launch a little Spender Reno into Hefe, which that is the name of the Sentinel Mark IV, for those who don't know. Alright, let's see those 8 dice energy into Sentinel.
It looks like it is a basic attack.
Alright, you know what? I stand corrected.
6 physical into 2 when you have 2 rerolls is a good way to get a chunky hit through.
Yeah, get some power
1
back.
block. Yeah. Can reroll his 2 blocks.
Doesn't care about the wild since he can't throw the Sentinel anyway. A little bit of a whiff there, but we're still going to generate 2 power. Push 2 damage through on Sentinel.
Which is still going to be more than enough for a spender and throw, which is looking pretty juicy.
I wouldn't say more than enough. I would say exactly enough. Now she has 7 power, and that'll cost 7 to do all that.
That is true, but it is enough.
Alright, she's going to spend her into Sentinel now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the right call, just because if you daze both models here, might as well save your throw for Shang-Chi.
Absolutely.
Kind
She
of weak,
does.
yeah,
She is going to
but
get Taskmaster, though.
yeah. Shang 4, so not too bad getting 3 damage through.
Yeah, now Ben is going to have to really think about the size 3 throw that could be incoming. Because it'll be just enough to be able to get Sentinel if he doesn't, block particularly well on it. So we have Taskmaster going down here, so good Jane activation so far. Sentinel taking 3, so he'll be
Yeah.
Alive on 2, with presumably a
with
throw
Shaw.
incoming.
Yeah,
Do you brace
uh,
this?
I wouldn't. Just because like being incinerated and shock still means your sentinel is like not rolling a ton of dice. He only has
Yeah,
Jane,
I don't think
which
he
even though
remembered the shock just because he hasn't put it out yet.
yeah,
And Ben does choose the
looks
brace.
like the brace coming out. Which I think you're kind of glad, just because the sentinel is like not a great model, even though when they're days they get really terrible. Because now Shang-Chi is going to be like taking all the throws.
Yeah, I mean, Sentinel does have. Shang-Chi could potentially spike and then patch up Sentinel Mark 4.
Yeah.
Notable that building is still there, but should not be. Get that out of there. All right. So Sentinel now going into Zemo. So that was Jane's activation. I'm not crazy, right? There's still a building there. They haven't deleted it or removed it.
No, you're correct.
Okay.
At least on my side, I still see a building.
All right. So we've, he juice it up?
Yeah, he juiced it up for two. Ah, three. He spent three.
All right. So this will be what, 8 dice coming in now? John, you're asking the good questions here.
Yeah,
Ooh, good hit coming in from Ben. One block on Eric's side.
he can still reroll one of his dice, which is probably going to be enough to get Zemo. Yeah.
John asks, why brace if you're not going to activate the Sentinel? Um, I don't know. How do I? We're in a we're trying to be positive here. So Ben is just so confident that his Sentinel is going to tank the next hits from Mephisto that he doesn't need to activate him.
Or even Lockjaw.
So I think Ben, yeah, Ben was not actually in range to be able to pick up that inhuman weapon. Unfortunate. Was
So
he? I don't think he had enough power on him either to restrain cables him in, then hit him with the big attack.
he did. He was on 4 power, so he could have restrained Cable and still do a 7 die builder.
Yeah, I think he still would have been out of picking up the trap. So like, why spend the power there? All right, so that was Sentinel's activation. Right now we've got Toad and Sentinel Prime holding extracts for Ben. Eric's extracts are currently on Jane and Toad. Toad alive on 1 at the moment, so there's a world here where Shang-Chi pulls that off of him. I think in hindsight, too, Eric eliminating Taskmaster was a good start, given that Shang-Chi might be pulling this extract off Toad pretty soon.
Yeah. Here, I kind of think with Mephisto, I would go into Shang-Chi just to try to daze him. Mephisto has the advantage of having a very high amount of like paper cut damage, where he will just deal a lot of ones and twos with either his attacks or superpowers.
Yeah.
So I think he's a very good model to go into Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. John in the chat, you were at ACO, right? You weren't you the top 8 Midnight Suns player? Remind me. We didn't play, but if I remember correctly, you were the Suns player there. All right, so we've got a Mephisto hit coming into. Is that a Hefe? So he's thinking about it. I think you could also get a little greedy here with Mephisto and land on that back point, flip a trap, and kill a Sentinel.
Yeah, I think there's definitely an argument to do that.
Eric's got a lot of good options ahead of him here. I There's also a world where you could just activate Lockjaw, teleport Toad away,
Yeah, I was
and
thinking the same, where like he can teleport Toad away, uh, probably just move and throw a
oh, he
terrain
is
into
activating Lockjaw. Looks like
Lockjaw.
So he will get 3 power.
Yeah.
Put him at 6. Notable, if you remember round 1, he didn't flip that point with Lockjaw. And I'm wondering if it was he wanted 6 power on him this round for a specific reason. So we'll see if that plays out. Maybe he does interdimensional Bloodhound or something into, yeah, maybe. All right, he's moving up. Yeah, Ben calling out there's a
Uh,
double teleport coming in.
yeah, I think we're gonna see Mephisto forward and Toad backwards.
Yeah, I like that play. I'm a
Yeah,
huge
I like
Lockjaw
it.
fan, as you know. I love doing things
Yeah,
like this with Lockjaw. When I see people say things like, I don't get value out of him mid game, I just find that crazy.
yeah, I think that's probably an issue. That's like six.
I think he didn't spend the
Model.
correct amount of power though here, so he spent.
Yeah, I think he spent uh too few. He spent two instead of four.
Yeah, I think he's too higher than he should be. How much is interdimensional Bloodhound? Would he have enough to do that? No, he would
He
not.
would. Yeah, he would not. Yeah,
Yeah, because that could have been cool to throw that on Shang.
yeah. Looks like it is fixed by the players.
John, I don't want to hear any shit about Spider Infected coming from a Midnight Suns player. Run Abomination, steal their back F. I know you shitty bastards love to do that. Shang just outside of 2 Mighty Thor, but he does have 4 power on him, right? So he's able to charge. He's got a couple of good options here. He could charge into Lockjaw, or even potentially flank kick into Lockjaw. Okay, so Ben is going to activate Rightmad. Subtle Mark 4 Hefe. So he go into his Mephisto. Let's see, can he juice as well? I think he can juice, right? They can all juice. Yeah.
Yeah, all the Sentinels
All right,
can.
he's going to pull a Barry Bonds, juice up, and take a shot.
I think here. Ooh, Spender.
Spender.
I think here forgetting the shock is probably gonna hurt him a little.
Yeah, so this would be 9 dice physical into Mephisto. Not a great hit. He
Regular
does have
cry
2
on right.
crits. Let's see if they convert.
It's 8 die on the
Um,
regular.
much better. So it looks like we're going to take 3 damage here on Mephisto.
And gain
And
three. Sorry, gain two conditions.
yes, he's going to give him.
Shock and slow, just
Yes.
because he is immune to incinerate.
Nothing wrong with that. And now you can take another hit into him if you want.
Yeah, I
Erik
think
choosing
the
not to bring any associates up. So we have another
yeah.
hit coming in from the Sentinel. Looks like he juiced that up. I didn't see if it was
It was another
a
spender.
spender.
It looks like.
And another really good hit coming in here. Is that going to kill him?
Ooh, yes, it looks like it's good enough.
Just enough to kill.
Unless he recals.
Yeah, he only has 1 token on him, so he might have been trying to hold off on that
Yep.
and
What I
not
would
use.
think as well, but I think here, just to preserve your activation, I think I would recal. Yeah, looks like we're seeing recal.
Recal. All right.
Much softer hit. He just need to convert one block.
And he
Yep, lives
does.
on one. MCP special, baby.
Yeah, he's a chair flip. Um, I said I don't think. I mean, Ben's not ecstatic about it, but he did shock and slow the Mephisto. But Mephisto does have all the power in the world. He
I think
still has
here you,
priority, so he'll
yeah,
be able to like set up a really fat beam next round.
I think you can do a fat beam this round. Like
Oh,
you
and
could, Devil's Due into the Sentinel. No, sorry. How can I be of service into the Sentinel? Just to place yourself, hopefully get one token. Do it again to hopefully get another token. Just do Infernal Bargain to get a third token, and then you can beam both Mephisto and Shang-Chi.
So what do you opposite do here? So that was the Sentinel Mark IV from Ben, dealing 6 damage to Mephisto in 2 conditions, shock and slow. Right now we've got extracts on Ben's Sentinel Prime, who's untouched, Ben's Toad, who is untouched. Eric's got 1 on his Toad, who's got 3 out of 4 damage, and he's got 1 on his Jane, who's taken 1 damage. The traps are even at 2 apiece. Zemo has dazed for Erik. Ben has lost his Taskmaster, and his Sentinel Prime, his standard Sentinel Mark IV is alive on 2 with an Incinerate. We've got Shang-Chi and Toad left to go for Ben. Mephisto and Toad left to go to Erik. It's Erik's activation right now. Presumably he'll activate Mephisto here. Let's see what he decides to do. All right, Erik, what are we doing? So we're seeing a deal being made with Sentinel. So that'll allow him to place within 1 and potentially flip that trap.
How can I be of service?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Let's make a deal.
Then, yeah. Spending 2 power. And I think even though he's shocked, it's still 5 damage stick against the Sentinel. 3.
Yes, but Sentinels do count wilds as 2.
Yeah.
So this
I
this
think I
could be
would
difficult. Push through the damage here.
try to place closer because that might put him outside of Shang-Chi for the beam. Very soft hits, which the Sentinel will take. So,
Ben.
4 for 1, gain a DL. I think you kind of just do the attack again.
Yeah, and you hope to get another token out of that. Oh, he's looking for. Is it a beam 5?
No, it's a beam 4.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
I'd be curious to see the range on Shang-Chi because he placed a max 1 away from the Prime and from the Sentinel, and that might put him too far away from Shang.
Yeah, that's a classic thing that a lot of MCP players do, especially on TTS, is the let me measure max range 1, and that's something where there's literally no benefit unless he's trying to be
Yeah,
specifically out of range of Shang-Chi.
so super in.
Plenty, very much in though. All right,
I think,
let's see if we get a big fat
yeah,
beam.
I think I would still try to do just a regular okay, beam for both. Um, because then you kind of lose an action,
All right, well, let's see what happens
or
here. So we got a beam coming in. Oh, now it's maybe. He's
because
debating.
while the beam is good, he still has another action first. So I think there's an argument to do something else before beaming.
The beam is what, 5 power?
Yeah.
All right, so regardless if he chooses the beam or not, he will have power to flip the trap.
Yeah, I think here I would just do Infernal Bargain to get up to 3 Devils token if you can help it. And it's not the end of the world, like if you daze the Sentinel there, like they're not the big target for the beam.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
I think
call, Simon. That's what Eric's opting to go for here. No reason to not try. Can he push the damage
pretty
through?
successful hit. Yes, he can.
All right, so that's going to be a
Um,
dead Sentinel, giving another deal token to Mephisto,
yeah.
and making the trap easier to flip. Now creating more difficult decisions for Ben and what he can do with Shang-Chi. He's going to opt to try to flip the trap first. With 3 dice.
Gets it. Good job. Oh, looks like it was a gainer, the main attack, not Infernal Bargain.
Oh, he didn't get the token.
To get the power from it. Wait, he just like skipped an action? Alright. That is a choice.
Yeah, maybe he miscounted or something because he could have maybe shaken there. Well, something to ask him about later.
Yeah.
All right, Toad moving up here to try to flip. He will get it. So we have traded secures here. So Ben's still not in the worst position because I really think his Shang-Chi is in a great spot right now to turn this around for him.
I agree. I think he can very safely hunt Toad and bring and swing back the game in his favor.
I wonder, can you move medium, then move short, and then go into Toad? I'm not quite
I
sure.
think he can always flying kick then charge Toad.
Yeah, is he within
Like
3 for flying kick? I can't tell from this angle.
for Lockjaw, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
Eric's gonna obviously smartly run away.
Yeah.
But it just makes Ben's choices that much easier to try to go win the secure. Punch Jane twice, push Lockjaw.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, so Toad choosing to move up on top of the size 5 building. He'll be super safe from any harm and comfortably score a VP. And put a little pressure on that trap at some point. I like it. That's Toad finish for Erik. Again, Erik's extract holders are Jane and Toad. Just Shang-Chi left to go now for Ben. He's choosing to charge. Alright, 6 dice, Mystic into Jane. Jane no power to do any rerolls.
Not that she can against Mystic.
Oh, that's also an excellent point.
Yeah. Soft hit, which we will take. Jane blocks it like a champ.
Ben still has enough power though to push.
Yep. Push and stun the dog, which he really doesn't like.
Yeah.
Sad dog.
And Lockjaw will be outside of range 2 for his next activation. Another attack from Shang-Chi into Jane.
Looks like a weak hit as well, but getting the stagger.
Yeah,
Punching
you
one,
like to see that at least. It's a consolation prize. Ben will claw back a little bit though on the scoring if he flips this point.
which hopefully you won't.
Yeah, the order of activations here allowing Erik to get priority is unfortunate for Ben because now Mephisto gets to open up with a nice beam into 2 models.
Yeah.
But having last activation, as you called out earlier, will allow him to at least get some flip things going. He's going to push Jane into the Sentinel so that Jane gets stunned as well, which she's also not going to like. So really good use of Shang-Chi here from Ben.
Yep.
Shang-Chi, a very notably complex character to play. And he's going to flip the point.
Boo.
Did he whiff it?
No, he got it.
Okay.
Oh no, he whiffed it.
Oh,
You're
okay. I
right.
was like, you're seeing something I'm not seeing?
No, no. Good. Take that, Chunk. Suck it.
That's 2 chairs, I think, that are now destroyed in the Lalka household. I think notable that a Sentinel would have flipped that point successfully.
Yes.
Well played, Simon. All right, so at the end of this round, we're gonna have what would it be 9-7 for Erik.
Yeah.
We maintain points parity that round. I still like Ben's position. Ben choosing to incinerate his Sentinel Prime. Let's see who's gonna get the extra power for Erik. Who would you give the extra power to here?
It's a good question.
If
I
you give it
think
to
I would.
Mephisto, does that get you to 10 power?
Yes, it will.
So you could
That
double
I think
beam?
you give it to Jane for sure, just because she
She's
gets
stunned,
only
yeah.
one. Yeah. I think again would be Jane and Mephisto. You just power up your strongest models.
Yeah. All right, Eric with the priority here. You imagine he's going to activate with Mephisto first, given he's alive on one.
Yeah. I think one thing to keep in mind is just that because of photographic reflexes, Mephisto is in danger if he attacks
Hmm.
Taskmaster from within range 3.
Yeah, I don't know how that changes your activation order, or if it doesn't, or what. But I think you just have to kind of take some chances with that. Maybe you just lay into a Sentinel, or maybe you don't beam
I
him.
think
Maybe you beam Sentinel and Shang. I don't know.
yeah, that's what I would go for.
All right, let's see what he chooses to do.
Think there's also an argument to just line up a beam into both uh Chong and the Sentinel Hefe. Um
Yeah, that's what I was calling for there.
yeah. Uh
Can he? Does he have to
I
spend
think that
power in order to place? He does, right?
I think the other thing I would be looking for is to maybe just double spender Shong uh to daze him.
Is he in range for that?
Well, I think he looks like he's in range 4 from Mephisto. Like it's still a 7 die beam against his 3 defense. It's a guaranteed incinerate. Even if you don't want to double beam, you can beam once, place off the sentinel.
All right, here comes
Uh,
a beam.
yeah, looks like it's only getting the sentinel.
Yeah, I like removing the Sentinel here if you can do it. It'll be
Uh,
scary if, I mean, he's got to go through recal, and it's
yeah,
a little scary with a patch up sitting there. But at the same time, I think that's the most threatening model on that side of the board. Shang's just throwing 6 dice. Sentinel can throw 9 dice, 7 dice, whatever.
not on the injured side.
Oh, does he not have the ability? He doesn't. He can't bury bonds on that side.
Nope.
Oh, you're right.
So like he still gets the good spender, but
Yeah, it
I
does.
think Shang is more
Yeah, and his
threatening here.
plasma leak is, gosh, they really made these characters trash on this side, huh?
The spender is still good,
Sure, but
but they are definitely worse for it.
yeah. Do you get the reference that I'm making when I say that they bury Bonds?
No.
Okay. Barry Bonds is one of the greatest baseball players of all time. He was potentially a top 20 baseball player of all time. And
Okay.
then before he started using steroids. And then he started
No.
using steroids, became like the greatest home run hitter ever. And now he's like blackballed from Major League Baseball because of the steroid stuff.
That's fair.
All right, Eric is locked in here on his thought process. He spent the 5 power to beam.
Yeah, it looks
Uh,
like he
he's taking
is.
it back.
Nope.
He's just gonna do a regular old punchy punch.
Gainer into Sentinel.
Maybe trying to get the incinerate first.
Yeah, that's what I would presume.
He is shocked. See if he remembers that.
Looks like he gets.
He does remember. Good. He's gonna push 2 damage through and an incinerate.
Yeah, then he can do the place to be able to beam both the Mark IV and Shang-Chi. Ooh, spend a
Spending
token.
token. I guess he's gonna ask him if he wants to make a deal.
Yep, it looks like so.
Let's make a deal. Roll them dice.
White, no, 5. Ooh, alright, that looks pretty good.
So what is that? 2 damage and a
2
sap
damage
power?
and sap, yeah.
Not bad. Does the crit do anything on that?
No, it
Okay.
does not. It's only hits and wilds.
I played a fair bit of Mephisto back when he dropped. I'm gonna get back to it now. Whenever I get back to playing it,
Super
actually
fun
playing
model.
MCP, I'm gonna play Mephisto.
He's a super fun model.
Oh yeah, I play him in Criminals because all according to plan is a stupid busted card.
It is.
All right, we have an attack into Taskmaster. Oh, Devils do. So he's burning them tokens.
Nothing.
Nothing on that one. And now he spends for the beam.
Mm, I think I would have rather beamed first, just because you still get 2 extra die before devils do, but
Yeah, maybe he was. So you gotta remember, Simon, if you beam first, if you are trying to hit both characters, there's a world where you then get clapped back by Taskmaster and you never get to use those tokens this round.
yeah, that's true.
So
So it looks like beam into the.
whereas this way you don't get the same level of beam, but like you're still likely to take Sentinel off the board, apply and incinerate the Taskmaster and do some damage here.
He
Uh
wasn't. He didn't have an angle to hit both
oh,
models.
unfortunate. He is pushing through just enough to get Sentinel though.
Yep. Unless Ben wants to recal.
It wouldn't be the worst recal because then it would just be it would be 5 dice into 3.
Yeah,
But I think you might need that recal later. It'll be hard to
I
say.
agree. I think it's. I think you're fine letting the Sentinel die here.
That's what they're made to do. But if you do live, you get patched up. Yep, there's the recal. Yeah, if you do live through this, it's huge because you do have the
What
patch
if he
up.
dies and just
Oh,
wastes recal?
then I imagine we'll see another chair thrown.
Uh, 4 hits. Still dead. And that is why I hate recal.
You just don't know how to play it right.
I just think it's a bad card. Why would I play bad cards?
I love recal. All right, Taskmaster going to open up. Or are we still doing?
Mephisto can still do stuff. Like, he can use How Can I Be of Service?
Oh, yes, he does.
So he's going to gain his Devil's token back, at least, before maybe going down to Photographic Reflexes.
I think that's what we're seeing happen right now. Yep, because Ben spent 2 power, and he's able to do 1
Rip.
damage, and which gets him. That's cool.
Uh, Erik didn't put his Devil Steel token on Mephisto, though.
Well, that feels bad.
Yep.
So now Taskmaster and Shang both have some good options over there. Ben can choose to yank in Zemo and just try to kill him. To recap where we are, we've got Prime and Toad holding extracts for Ben. We've got Jane and Toad holding extracts for Erik. But Jane is staggered and stunned, and Toad is alive on 1. So Ben in a good position this round to potentially make up a lot of points. Sean calls out in the chat that online operational is dead. Ben noting that as well by flipping it.
Yep. I think one thing I would be looking for if I'm Ben here is probably just Taskmaster laying it into Jane with the Spender.
Is
Be,
he? But is he within range too of Jane? I don't think
you
so.
move and hit her.
I mean,
Just because like she's already stunned, she doesn't get her rerolls. You get the flip the point.
I think this is the better play here. Going into Zemo with Sentinel Prime, deny the activation, create
Yep,
a
and
create a lock.
KO's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, so he's
I
gonna
don't hate.
Barry Bonds his Sentinel Prime and take a shot in a Zemo.
Looks like we are seeing a spender.
Oh, it's a suspender.
Pretty weak hit, but
Oof.
getting two conditions, which you don't hate.
Yeah, so you can put an Incinerate on him and make the next attack a little bit easier, more likely to get him.
Yeah, 2 blocks, so taking just a one, but we can put both incinerate and shock, or incinerate and slow, which Zemo really hates.
Yeah, he puts the slow on, because he's still got enough power to do another spender.
Yeah, and I think that's what I would do.
All right, spending 3 for another spender.
Oh, builder.
Oh, is he juicing?
Yes,
Oh yeah.
he typed it in the chat.
I guess he wants the power for Toad for some rerolls.
Ooh, very strong hit. 6 with 2 crits, and I think that means it's a dead Zemo. Yeah,
Yeah,
7.
7
I
coming
think that should.
in. Even if he had rerolled everything, he wasn't gonna get it. So it's a KO Zemo. Yeah, I think that was the stronger activation for Ben.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, that does not trigger the leadership for Ben.
that is
I actually
correct.
did not notice if he triggered the leadership last round when he got Zemo.
And this round when he got Mephisto. Looks like he did not.
Uh, yeah. So Ben's in a good spot right now. They've both eliminated models from each other, but despite Sentinel being 4 threat and Zemo being 3 threat, I'd still rather have a Zemo all day. And the extracts are in a fairly safe spot for Ben, whereas I think Ben is threatening VPs a little bit better on Eric's side.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
The problem is that Ben can't really rotate particularly well, so we'll see if that plays a factor. Looks like Eric's considering opening up with Jane here this round, or this activation. Still has Lockjaw to go, Toad to activate, and Jane. Yeah, John, we called that out. I don't think Ben used the leadership on either of his dazes, and he can't use it on the KO because it's unnecessarily restrictive. All right, Jane is spending 3 power, presumably to charge.
It looks like she's going into Shang-Chi or Taskmaster? Question mark.
JK. He's gonna be careful here. He looks like he's measuring full distance here, but I'm assuming he wants to get in range to flip a point. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Jane charging into Taskmaster. Taskmaster has only 4 life left, but also notable that Jane won't be able to generate enough power to throw because she's stunned.
Because he's stunned.
All right, 6 into 3.
The
2
two
rerolls coming
reroll
in.
versus martial artist for Taskmaster.
Oh, true. So going within range 2 of Taskmaster was really good for Ben.
Yep. Yeah, it gives them an additional block.
Uh,
She's gonna get at least one through.
yeah, unfortunate that he rolled the skulls there,
Oh,
but
3 skulls, so at best 2 damage.
nope, just pushing 1 through. No throw either. Uh, Ben could choose to use photographic reflexes, but that would potentially give Jane the power to throw. So I'm going to assume he holds off on that.
It wouldn't, just because she can only gain 1 power, right?
Right, but she has another action.
No, she was staggered.
Got him.
Like
All right,
you have
yeah,
no.
here comes the photographic reflexes. In that case, this was actually great.
Oh, no.
Take 2.
Get him.
Good hit. And now he's also in range to double spender Jane.
Yeah. Why did she only take 1 damage?
Uh,
Oh, looks like they got it.
Okay. Yeah, in lunch meets, TTS leagues, and things like that, I don't intervene. And in this one, I'm letting them largely play the game. But if something like a damage, I might comment. It is the GSG league, and I am one of the games for Guardians, so I feel like it's okay. All right, we're going with task. Spendering?
Yeah, just because she doesn't get her rerolls.
Yep.
And it's still an 8 die attack for 2 power here, which is pretty gnarly.
I love Taskmaster.
Ooh, he is out with a vengeance. 73 crits.
Stab,
That
stab,
looks like
stab,
a
stab,
safe
stab.
trade. 2 of them convert for a casual 9 hits.
Let's go. Did I mention I love
Uh,
Taskmaster?
just gaining 1 power because of the stun. Let's Taskmaster grab the token and flip the point. Call it a day. Oh, looks like Ben remembered his leadership this time.
Yo. Let's go. Yeah, this could be a huge swing for Ben because there's really nothing that threatens Ben on that side now.
Yeah.
At least this round. Lockjaw not really going to do much damage here. He does flip the point successfully. He'll pick the extract up. So right now, Ben holding 3 extracts and 3 secures. And holds last activation. He looks like he's gonna try to. He's gonna. Oh, smart by Ben. He's gonna try to walk out of range so that Mephisto can't just beam into 2 models. Or actually, he wouldn't be able to beam anyway into 2 models. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This Brady, this classic Sentinels team is doing well. Hey, Taskmaster is a classic Sentinel. He was a day one. I love Taskmaster. I've I've been locally. I think a lot of us are Team Taskmaster. So I'm glad to see him get some love on a stream. Like he doesn't chase well, but if he could start within range of a web, he's pretty sweet into them. He's a good extract holder into them too. All right, so we've got
Yeah, did
Lockjaw
not.
going for Erik here. Not getting any extra power because he's not near any friends, and he's
He would be
stunned.
stunned anyway.
Right. So he's looking right now to see if he can maybe teleport and walk to that point, but I don't. It's gonna be tight. I
I think
think he
he
gets it though.
gets it, but it's not. He doesn't have the most margin of maneuver.
All right, he's gonna go for it though. Yeah, I think he should be quite.
He should be plenty good.
Yeah, he's gonna have to try to flip 3 dice.
Yeah,
So
just
so
needing
good
1.
odds. Plenty of room to make it work. Whoop.
Yeah, the TTS wiggles.
Yeah, I mean we've got this is oh boy.
That
Uh,
was good.
I mean we've got plenty of. Just don't measure range 1. Jesus Christ, can we just move the model? This is one of those things like it's like a sickness for some people that they have to measure range 1 and be as far back as possible. We don't need to. Just move the model. It's okay. Oh, he didn't go max range 1. I'm proud of you, Erik. All right, let's see if the dog can flip the point.
Come on, good boy. No, dog.
Oh, he whiffs. I mean, that's a little bit of karma, right? Because Ben has missed a couple of flips like that now.
Yeah, not enough if you want my opinion, but still.
Never enough. If you want a good time, Simon, watch Professional Casual Network's stream of ACO and my game versus Ben in the top 4, where he just
You presume I haven't watched it
oh,
already.
did you already
Wow.
where he just threw so many attacks into Hulk that did not want to die
Yes.
and brought me so much joy.
It was very entertaining.
And then Omega Red managed to poison, I think, 4 out of my 5 models. I like Omega Red, man. Shang-Chi is activating for Ben. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, trying to flip the points. Gets it. And
Ben's got some.
probably
I'm not sure what you do
kick
with Ben. I
the
guess you
dog.
could go into Lockjaw, but
I think I would kick the dog.
just try to get, within range 3 of Mephisto, just so he can't beam you.
Well, that, and I think you can push the dog away to just like make it more awkward.
Yeah, that makes sense. Stay within. Oh, he's just choosing to move to the other side of the trap. It gives him options to chase down Toad, and then on Ben's other side, Sentinel Prime and Toad also threaten Eric's Toad. So like Eric choosing to go flip that trap with Toad could be really scary because then he has to kind of activate him first to run away.
Yeah, and it also gives Ben's Toad the opportunity to like daze
Yep.
Eric's Toad to deny him a VP.
Yeah, Ben's in a good spot right now. Lockjaw is not in a position to provide a whole lot of support. So Eric's almost down 6 threat to Ben's 4 threat that's been eliminated.
Yeah, and that's a very hard position to be in.
All right, notable too that Eric's going to try to flip this point, but Ben's Toad will also get an uncontested flip on that. Should Eric be successful, just because Toad is contesting from range 2. He super gets it, but now Ben gets a chance to take it back with his own Toad. Ben also actually will be able to. Oh, I didn't realize he had another action. I thought he double moved there.
No, he made it in a single move.
Hmm.
But I think Ben just like counter flips, goes back to safety, calls it a day.
Why go back to safety though when you could just chase down that Toad and threaten him a little bit, right?
That's
Looks like he's just out. Or
looks
just
like
in. Or
he's
just in. What do I
just
know?
in.
Attempts to flip, and he does get it right back.
That's a pretty big swing
Yeah,
for
7
Ben.
points.
You're scoring 7, putting him at the 14 out of 16.
Yeah, and Ben looks like he's going to correctly identify that applying pressure to Eric's Toad is a good call here.
Yeah,
Oh, and I like this.
trying to stay
Keep
within
him.
the bubble reroll. The
Yeah.
reroll bubble from Prime is a good call.
I wonder if maybe instead of moving twice, like a hop into shake could have been another line, but I guess ultimately at that point it doesn't really matter a ton. Because like right, Eric's Toad is sitting on an inhuman weapon, so he can throw 6 dice if he needs to. Let's see who Ben chooses to incinerate. It's Shang or Task, and I don't think you love either of those options.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so he's gonna put it on Shang.
Just because he doesn't have an extract and is not particularly threatened by any model at the moment.
Yep. And then the extra power for Eric can really go on only Lockjaw and Toad, right?
Yeah,
Because it's the cleanup phase.
that's correct.
It's like AMG learned how to balance this leadership appropriately. All right, so Eric's gonna have priority here. And if you're Eric, what's the most impactful activation you can have? Is it Jane chasing down Taskmaster? Is it Mephisto? Who is it?
It's a good question. I think probably Mephisto, just because I think he has the best odds of dazing Taskmaster.
So here's the problem though, right? Is like Ben might have just already won the game.
Yeah, that's very possible because
Yeah.
denying him VPs is going to be a tall order.
You have to stop Ben's Sentinel Prime from scoring. And this is Brady calling it out in the chat. Ben's Sentinel Prime is scoring 2 VPs right now.
Yeah.
So how are you taking that backtrap from
I
Sentinel
think
Prime
Mephisto can use How Can I Be of Service on Taskmaster, then move and beam Sentinel Prime,
and do 10
and you have,
damage?
yeah, that's your, you got to play to your outs, even if they're
Yeah,
unlikely.
that's true.
Otherwise, you could wait for Lockjaw to teleport Mephisto and Jane forward to try to have them get good hits into Prime.
Yeah, he can do that because he'll have 4 power.
Yeah.
That might
Um,
actually. The
but then
problem with that is then no one stops
let's
Shang-Chi from
Taskmaster.
scoring the top trap.
Yeah, and that lets Taskmaster run away as well. So, like, I think it might just be over, but
He's gonna try
I
his
think it's still
damnedest.
worth to identify your outs.
Hmm. So yeah, he needs to. I wonder. Eric has to recognize that his only out is going after Sentinel. He's got no tokens on Mephisto, so he's gonna have to play us off of task with his non-action. Looks like he's choosing to go a chain. If he's choosing Jane to go in the Taskmaster, then he just loses the game.
Uh, Charge. Yeah, that's probably it, but we're gonna see.
Right, because Mephisto needs to be able to place off of. You know what?
Okay.
Not necessarily, right? Because then Lockjaw can just teleport Mephisto to give him a
Yeah,
chance.
but I think that leaves a window open for Ben to disrupt the distance between Lockjaw and Mephisto.
Uh, with Shang-Chi?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll flip first. Sure.
He does get it. So yeah, if that's what Eric's playing for, then I don't think it's the worst idea. He still needs to get Taskmaster. He's got 2 shots though. Now he's not stunned, so he will be able to generate enough power to throw if he gets some good hits in. Not that's not gonna do it.
Not when he's blocking three. He still
Yeah,
has,
some rerolls maybe.
yeah, for the charge. Maybe what again? What throw?
Do we use the rerolls? Nope. We just who needs? We don't need the 1 damage. We're that confident we're gonna get the 3 damage right here.
It's a good start.
Well, there we
Forward
go.
a
That's
crit.
Eric knew there was no point in re-rolling those dice because he was gonna get him on this one.
Looks like he get him. He gets him. Three goes.
Yeah, exactly enough to get task.
He would have gotten the throws well, but yeah,
Okay, Eric making us look the fool.
he got there in the end.
Now let's see if how Ben chooses to operate here. I could see Ben just trying to go kill Toad because Ben just sees murder.
Yeah, he does like his slaps.
To be fair, Simon, when you called out the disrupting Lockjaw play, I don't think you can actually disrupt Lockjaw because not a lot of avenues to push, and then he just walks and then teleports Jane anyway.
No, because he doesn't have the power if he's not within two of Mephisto.
Sure, he does. It only costs 2 power to
Oh yeah, you're
teleport.
right. He only has teleport one. Yeah, you're right. Charge into Toads. I think if he gets tilled there, especially because he still has access to Chi Mastery. Oh no, he's one power shark.
Yep. So if
Um,
he gets towed here,
it is
it's
game.
a rough spot.
Strong starts.
Oh, there you
So
go,
forward.
Ben. Ben's Kung
Yeah, that's
Fu.
a dead toad.
Yep, Kung Fu Master woke up.
6 hits. Casually.
Yeah, I do like, in hindsight, what Erik decided to do there. Like, he wasn't left with a lot of good options, and I think he took one pathway and it just didn't work out for him, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's all.
All right, Ben's gonna surf just to extra safety, and close this out here. Erik does have a Lockjaw and a Mephisto to go, but I think now even if you teleport Mephisto, Sentinel Prime can just walk away,
Yeah,
or Toad
yeah, I
can
think
walk away.
there's too many models on Ben's side that can still score.
Yeah, sometimes the villains win. This is the Empire Strikes Back of Ben Sentinel Saga. And the Mark IV did nothing this game. I mean, he left Mephisto alive on one, so that was something, I guess.
He took punches instead of other models.
Yep, deep health pools are irrelevant. Erik choosing to play this out here. He's gonna teleport Mephisto. And then walk and does he have the room to flip? I think he's gonna be just short.
Yeah, he's
Unfortunately,
not
that
getting.
stun on Lockjaw was pretty massive this game.
Yeah,
Just really, really limited his options. Because if he had the power there to teleport, he could have gotten in
got
range.
it.
Think they're just maybe they're discussing the VP situation now, or Ben is passing. Yeah, I think Ben is passing. If he's passing, that's awfully scary because Mephisto can definitely move, port on top of Sentinel Prime, and then beam Sentinel and possibly get towed.
A little far away, but it's an option.
You know what? That doesn't even matter, right? Because Shang-Chi's holding, and Ben has a trap. So
Yeah,
like,
so
if
it's over.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So kind of looking back at the game, I don't know like if there's an easily identifiable mistake that Erik made.
I think skipping an action on Mephisto in round two, definitely a mistake.
Yeah, but I don't know how much it contributed to him losing the game, you know?
This is true.
Like, yes, like mistakes were made, but I don't know, like, looking back, if there was an obvious thing of like, oh, if he had just done this, it changes the game.
Maybe flipping his own trap with Logjam instead of Mephisto,
Yeah, he didn't need the extra power on Lockjaw, so maybe.
where on Mephisto it makes a bigger
Yeah,
difference.
hard to say. So for funsies, it looks like Mephisto is gonna do their best to try to take out Toad. How can I be of service? After he does this, can Toad run away and get out of range 3 of Mephisto?
If he's if he was base to base, I think he'd be fine. At max 1, I think he can just get away.
Remember what I was saying before about placing max range 1?
Yeah.
That's something I think a lot of players need to learn. A good hit's
Like,
coming
for
in
the
though, but doesn't
damage,
matter.
he gets to run away, so.
Yeah.
He can still beam afterwards, though.
True.
Yeah, looks like he gets up. Cover.
Yeah, unfortunately the bad guy's gonna win.
Oh, he's 1 power short for the beam, actually, so.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he still has another action, so he could flip the point here and flip the back point by moving back, but that's still not enough. He could also do Devil's Due to hopefully get 3 damage on Toads.
Crazier things have happened.
Yeah. But it's still not winning in the game.
Alright, Devil's Due coming in on Toad.
Come on, for the show.
Completely whiffs.
Hard whiff.
Ben choosing to move his Toad just to run up the score. Ben, poor winner. Showing a true lack of sportsmanship here.
I mean, I think it was pretty obvious from his flip. Oh, karma gets you.
Stupid Ben. That's what you get. Alright, and that'll be the ball game. Ben scoring 18, Erik 13, and I guess we can join them real quick.
No, I think you played around some of my shenanigans really well. So it was you created some interesting problems for me, and incinerating my models is my guys are not tanky despite the large health pool. So having them just die faster is a sad boy. What up, sexy people?
Howdy.
We're disappointed that you won, Ben, but you played well.
I know. Suck it, nerds.
Yep.
When you missed those pay to flips, we were pretty happy. We were hoping for more.
It was
look. I was like, I won't miss a 4-die open pay to flip, right? And then I just cried,
which felt great.
I think this game really summarizes the way that Marvel has been played the last few months after the major changes, in that it feels like a lot of the game right now is playing 3 rounds, getting a major swing turn, and that kind of like running away with the game, doing that. Like a lot of 5v5, and then like setting things up, because you really get like what 2-3 days is that round and score 7.
Yeah. Who knew that scoring 7 in 1 point is pretty good?
Was good. Yeah, that's a good way to win.
It's good way.
I'd work that into your tactics.
Yeah, that's what I did that to Ben at ACO. Scored 7 in a round. It was pretty effective.
Yeah. And voodoo witchcraft my dice to not kill Hulk, who's on 3 health. So it's so interesting. Erik's deployment really created some problems for me. It basically killed a tactic card. Because he hyper loaded one side, and I kind of messed up in my deployment in putting Sentinel down a little too early, thinking that Erik's gonna like split up his guys, right? And whoops, whoops a daisy. So I mean it worked out, but yeah, it was effectively I was playing a tactic card down. So that was a neat thing. I don't know, Erik, if you did that intentionally, but I definitely walked into that. It was like, well, I'm an idiot because I couldn't put Sentinel and Sentinel Hefe and Toad on one side because Toad can rotate, but Toad doesn't want to rotate into the blender that was forming over there, right? So, yeah, that was some pretty cool deployment stuff, and I had to do it, and that was pay attention to when you put your leader down who can't rotate very fast.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it
no,
was an exciting game, and I'm sorry. Go ahead, Eric.
yeah, no. I mean, it just in terms of deployment, I pulled Namor from this list kind of last minute and still had Prince's Protection, and was really kind of wishing that I had a Namor and a Toad for that, kind of double safe grab and at the midline. And then when I, realized the corner that I had kind of backed myself in, someone was going to have to come up to the midline. And fortunately, turn one, Zemo, was able to survive, but that could have gone sideways pretty easily on turn one.
Yeah, I love the aggressive play to grab the extract, flip the point, and get that nice lead on Ben early on. I think that was a great start. And we felt like you had a good position round one, but then Shang-Chi did some Shang-Chi things and stunned your model, and Ben set himself up for
Yeah,
a strong
and not
round two, three.
getting Taskmaster over here really set me. Like that was an activation that I had to eliminate to really kind of, and then losing him, I lost 2 models to his activation that round or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was the
That
one
I just
thing
couldn't afford it.
that we were a little that was the one area I think you made a mistake on, was your Mephisto activation in round two, where you actually left a action on the table, and then we think
Oh,
that
okay.
yeah, you left an action on the table, I believe. Maybe we're wrong, but Simon and I were both on that that train of thought there, and then maybe taking some shots into Shang-Chi might have been the stronger play, just because he was a little bit more threatening.
Yeah,
But that's
yeah.
something you
He's
can
so
go
good
back and
inside
take a
3
look at
though,
that.
and I don't,
Yeah.
he doesn't. He's kind of blanks, and he has a
Yeah.
beam 4, so yeah.
It's hard to say because like you did take out 2 models with Mephisto, so it's hard to. Oh, maybe. Oh no, Taskmaster got you right. But anyway, I think that's one that we can go
activation,
back
yeah.
and look and see if there was a way to
Yeah,
maximize that activation a little bit better. And I'm not saying
yeah.
that we would have had a better idea, but
Yeah, it's
Mephisto's such
only
a
really
complicated model. There's a lot of avenues to
Yeah,
take.
it was a real Gordian knot to try and figure out,
Yeah.
and then the stagger on Jane really set. I needed her 2 activations that round.
Yeah, Shang-Chi is a super fair and balanced model that we all enjoy playing against.
It's fine, right? Stunning people, pushing people, it's fine.
Yeah,
Right?
well, Shang-Chi was right. I think he brought a couple Sentinels with him for that fight against the dragon at the end of the movie, right?
That's what I saw. I mean, he's actually he's a robot, right? Like
He's
Oh,
a
man.
robot in disguise.
robot. See,
Oh, there it is.
Simon gets it.
Yep.
Now I
Yep,
need
yep.
to buy a whole new Sentinel, all these Sentinel models, and paint them up like Transformers. Thanks, Simon.
Where's your what's the Sentinel
Optimus
with the
Chi?
card?
Yeah, Optimus Chi. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
Ben,
pretty
we
cool.
were happy to see that you did recognize there was a leadership and that you decided to use it round 4.
I used it a couple times. I even pinged it.
The first
Did
stage,
you?
the first round, I think, or second round.
The second round. Yeah, get wrecked. Get out of here.
We both missed
I
it.
used
We
it
were
every time.
we were
We
rooting
both
we were rooting against you missing it.
Oh yeah, no, I used it. I used it every time. I even called it out when I KO'd Zemo. I was like, "Yep, I would normally get a trigger here if my leadership was
Yeah,
good.
yep. Was fair and balanced. Was decent, but
It was good." But yeah, no, that was I even got it. I did it on the Toad one. Get out of here. I think there was one that I was it the turn where he dazed a bunch of where he dazed
I think it was just the Taskmaster one you missed.
maybe.
Yeah.
Oh,
But-
when I dazed
Yeah.
Mephisto during his turn. Yeah, I missed that one. You're right.
So
Good call.
Ben, you should be playing under your skin to solve that problem.
Yeah, I mean that's clearly I had a dead card, with online and operational, so
Yeah.
that could have just been
Yeah, that card's
that
so
could've been-
cool. You feel like you gotta have it.
it's so good. I just didn't play. I positioned poorly, so there's probably same thing with patch up. There's probably an instance. I figured if Sentinel Hefe lives from that top of 3 Mephisto turn. Taskmaster can double spender heal the Sentinel, so I can get at least an activation out of him. But I don't know. Maybe patch ups not great great in this this great because it's too spread out. I don't know.
Taskmaster was really tough on Mephisto. That's what really held back that activation, was not being able to attack into Taskmaster more than once, because he can crack back twice. So that's where I had to, really try and figure out, like, how can I push some damage into Taskmaster without attacking him? And then I'm spending my tokens, and it just it didn't work out. And then did 0 damage on the chip damage into him.
Right. Yeah. So I love Taskmaster. This is
he's beaten me up two days in a row, or 2 weeks, two games this week.
Yep, I'm a big fan as well. Well, thanks for letting us stream, fellas. Appreciate it. I'm glad I was able to get some different content on the channel than the same old.
Sentinel love.
Appreciate
Sentinel meta incoming.
T minus 14 months, 18 months, whatever.